Nicole Scott here from Mobile Geeks, and today I'm going to be reviewing the ASUS Zenfone 2. There's a lot about this device that punches above its class. It's $225 or 7,000 NT, and it comes with a bunch of features it probably shouldn't. Way decent camera, gorgeous IPS display, and a quad-core processor. So, what's the catch? The Zenfone 2 has a 5.5-inch Full HD display that is IPS. It's got great viewing angles and nice viewability outdoors. If we bump it all the way up, you can see that it is quite bright. I'm just going to turn that down a little bit for this review. Now, under the hood, we have a Intel Atom Z3580. That's a quad-core processor at 2.3 gigahertz. It comes with 2 gigabytes of RAM, and if I just pull off the back, a micro SD card slot for expansion, and it comes with 32 gigabytes of onboard storage. This is a 13 megapixel shooter, and that is a 3000 milliampere battery. The entire device weighs in at about 170 grams, and on the top is where you're going to find the power button. The other unique feature is it's kind of LG G3-esque with its kind of curved display, or sorry, curved backing, along with the volume button here at the back. Now, it's not the power and volume button because the power button is here at the top. Now, one of my first criticisms of this device is that it's too long at 5.5 inches to have a power button at the top. Even HTC has realized that and moved their power button down onto the side. But you can double tap to wake up, which is a very nice feature. Taking a closer look at the display, like I mentioned, it's IPS, and it has a PPI of 403, which is actually the same as the iPhone 6 Plus. It's one great feature that ASUS always includes with its displays is Splendid. Now, you can access it from the bar where it's balanced. There's a reading mode that kind of puts it into e-reader mode with a kind of orangey tinge. There's Vivid, which makes things really pop. Customized, which is what I've selected to kind of pull the greens up because maybe I want that. So that's either there in the quick launch, or you can find it here in the back end for the full application. When it comes to audio, we have a single stereo speaker down here on the bottom. Now, it is loud enough, I guess. Now, I'm going to use one of the apps that comes preloaded to test that out. So this is Mini Movie. You can make a movie in a matter of seconds. Let's just, that sounds great. And let's hit next. And then I'm going to turn the volume all the way up. So you can see that you can hear it. But I'm not particularly impressed by what I'm hearing, so it has average speaker quality for sure. So when it came to actually talking on the phone, we have the two noise-canceling microphones. The ear speaker is loud enough that I can definitely hear what's going on, and when I asked people how I sounded on the phone, everyone said fine. Now, what about battery life? I'm getting on average 4 to 5 hours of display on time with the brightness set to about 75%. I have had the Wi-Fi on pretty much aggressively the entire time that I've been using it, and I would say that in this 5 hours of on time, I would do 1 hour of music streaming through Spotify, 20 minutes of YouTube videos, and the rest would be WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, general kind of social media stuff. In terms of capacity, 3000 milliamperes is great, and one feature that is absolutely awesome is that it comes with quick charging capabilities. So if you use the right adapter with the right cable, so FYI, you know, the quick charge stuff, you'll get about 60% in about 40 minutes, which is absolutely great. Now, one thing people have been asking to see is how the dual SIM works. So there's 2 SIM card slots. They're both micro. I'm using nano cards, but I have an adapter. So this one is 2G, 3G, 4G, and then this one is just for 2G. So this will be for basic calling connectivity, and the other one will be for full 4G data. So let's just put these in. So you can see that SIM card 1 and SIM card 2 are now active, and it shows you in green which one is pulling the data or active. So since it's not offering 3G or 4G on both SIM cards, you know that you're pulling your data off of one and you can just receive calls onto two. One of the great features about the Zenfone 2 is its camera. Now, for a mid-range, remember this is a 7000 NT phone, or about $225. This is quite a very decent camera. And then there's a lot of other modes here. So we have manual, HDR, beautification, which I'm sure you guys know about, the depth of field stuff, but this is all software depth of field, right? So it's never going to be as good as a lot of other options. It's kind of what we're seeing in general. Miniaturization, it's got time lapse, all smiles, so everyone in the photo can have a smile. Smart remove takes a couple, so you can take up things in the background. One of the other really great things is it's got a low light feature. It takes 3 megabyte photos. One of the things that you've probably heard about as well is the low light mode, the pixeler camera, and I've shot a demo of this up to a black box, and it's taken a photo of a butterfly, so it takes very decent night quality shots. It does take quite a while to focus on them in the nighttime mode, however. Now let's take a look at a few of these photos. So this is from RDF in Shenzhen. Now beautification is on, so you can see that it kind of like washes out my features a little bit. Around the edges, you can see that it's actually pretty decent. Let's take a look at some other photos. So here's an example of the depth of field. It's all happening in software, but it still looks pretty decent. Here's another, right? So the edge is quite sharp, and the background's blurry. It's done a very decent job of making that happen. I think overall, for a $200 device, it's pretty good. So here's a test video. This is of a Parrot drone that we have a review video of this up as well. There it goes, up, up, up. Yeah, and if you want to see the end of this video, it actually does crash. Okay, now these have been edited with the onboard editor, but they look really good. I mean, people do use filters for their photos. So these are, it's HDR on, HDR off. All right, now let's take a look at some of these night shots. Here's one of our local bars. So that's beautification at night. Grainy, not that great. There's a Jaeger bomb. But I mean, you can see that this, for a nighttime shot, I mean, it's noisy, but it looks really good. Like, it's doing a really good job of separating the light on there. For a $225 camera, this is definitely a really, really good nighttime performance. Not so great. It's blown out. The light's definitely blown out there. But, you know, bar shots versus street night shots, take bar shots any day. Performance-wise, we have no problems with the Intel Atom Z3580. It's quad-core, 2.3 gigahertz. This version is 2 gigabytes of RAM, but there is going to be a 4 gigabyte version also available. It benchmarks around where the Galaxy S5 sits, and if you are into gaming, you can see that there are absolutely no problems here with any of that. The ASUS Zenfone 2 is running on Android 5.0. I'm a big fan of the ZenUI. I think it's nice and clean. You have the ability to edit around what happens here in your quick launch area, and the options for things that are available are actually pretty advanced. Hotspot, Bluetooth, like even your display and how that looks. One-handed option is another one, so it kind of shrinks it down. One thing about this is I do wish they got rid of these keys. but I guess sometimes I can't reach the back button over there, so that's kind of helpful. I guess it just adding in this software row also makes it a little taller, but still totally able to use with one hand. Other things that I do like about it is just how the UI runs in general. Clicking on empty spaces, you can manage your home, scrolling effects, icon packs, so you can definitely customize out anything through the Zen store, so you can try to go and download more stuff if you want. Another thing that I do like is the wallpapers. Now, this wasn't the default wallpaper. This is the ASUS Live wallpaper, which I really just like a lot. This is actually what comes as default. So this is the standard, how it will totally look, but I'm a big fan of ASUS's native applications, or all the little extras that they've done, especially their widget here for weather. Totally love that it's on AccuWeather, setting the alarm. I mean, these are all like really just simple things that I just like the way that ASUS has managed just kind of the look and feel. And then this is your kind of classic Google 5.0. Now, if we just head into the settings, oh, one other thing from here, you also have a guest mode, so that's really nice and quick and easy to get to, but I'm going to stick into owner. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm going to stick to owner. And I'm just going to kind of go through what's happening in the back end here. So now the dual SIM, I'm going to come back to that, just because I do want to take off the back and show you what it's like with a second SIM inside. Call setting, data usage, easy mode kind of turns it into a super simple, like, kid phone. I won't turn that on. Interruptions, so this is really nice that you can set downtime so you're not getting calls between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And you can also customize adding in people that can get through. I really like this. When I have a phone that doesn't have it, I tend to really miss it. Taking a look at Zen Motion, so you have touch gestures, which are from the lock screen. You can double tap to suspend, which I showed you, W to launch the browser, S for messaging, C for the camera. So let's just try that out. Right, and there we go, straight into the camera. I really kind of like that they have those quick launch settings, although sometimes I think you might forget what you're doing, but the fact that they've included, also awesome. Shake, so when you're using an app, you can shake it twice to take a screenshot, which is really nice, because the way that you would do it traditionally is you'd press the power button and the volume, and on this device it's a little bit awkward, so it's nice that you can just kind of shake to take a screenshot. That's the only other motion gesture that we have here. But big fan of the Zen Motion. Battery management, power saver. ASUS has always been very good at installing this, or rolling out their optimized power saving mode. I've noticed that you can even go into customize and set things up, and I've noticed that I can really extend the battery life on my phone if I just kind of pare down how often things are happening. So ASUS customized settings. This is really nice that you can double tap the home key if you want to do the one-handed operation like I showed you. Glove mode increases screen sensitivity. A lot of phones have this. How well does it work? I think it's fine. Yeah. And quick setting options. So this was what we showed you from that you can access up in here. ASUS has done a lot of work with the lock screen so that you can access a lot of stuff if you just want to double tap the camera. ASUS actually has quite a bit going on with their lock screen. It doesn't really show it here, but it's through a lot of their other applications. So now let's head into this ASUS folder that's on the home screen, and your do it later stuff will show up on your home screen. So Zenfone 2 test. Now there is one thing that I have to mention about this phone. Android 5.0, I did mention that, but the system updates are coming thick and fast. Anyone who's done a review, even I would say a couple of weeks ago, like the German hands-on and review, there's a lot of UI glitchiness that I have found, but every single update, and it's happening daily, seems to be fixing a lot of stuff that's going on. Nothing right now, but it's been little things like when I'm in my email or in, actually I don't want to show you guys my email. Like when I've been in some social media applications, I maybe get 3 or 4 minutes and then it'll just shut down. So that's been one of my problems. Another one is it's just general UI slowness. So you can kind of see, if I did the C from the home screen, booting up that camera, right? That wasn't exactly the quickest, but it's gotten faster since I got my hands on with this 2 weeks ago to do this review. So that's one thing that I should mention, that I do feel that there is some work to do on the UI still, because occasionally you'll just get issues where things take a little bit too long to open. I'm having no problems right now because I did just get an update that fixed that app closing. Yeah, so it seems to be going okay. But on the regular, every once in a while, you'll just kind of give your phone a long stare because you're wondering if you have to press that button again to reinitialize the application. So the big question is, would I open my wallet for this phone? The answer is yes. At 7,000 NT or $225, I think that it does hit above its class. The chassis feels really nice. It has a high-end luxury feel. They've really mastered how the curve feels in your hand. Also, the camera is very, very, very decent for this price point. I thought that the autofocus was fast enough. The front-facing camera is wide angle. You have Beautify. It does have the Pixel Master, so you can take low light photos, which is kind of nice if you take photos in a bar, which is a lot of people. So what don't I like about it? Well, the case that I have on my pre-production unit has a little bit of a creak. I've had hands-on with a bunch of different ones, the ones in the store, some other reviewers, and their cases feel fantastic. So I'm going to chalk it up to a one-off with mine. But the one thing that's not a one-off is the glitchiness of the UI. Right now, I think it's early days. So I'm getting an update every day to every other day. There was a couple of days where I got 3 updates in one day. And it was things like fixing a lot of bugs, fixing the camera. And in general, it's been getting more and more stable, a lot more fast. That's the one thing that I can't weigh in on 100% right now. Is in 3 months, is it going to be an incredibly stable, glitch-free phone? Chances are, yeah. I mean, ASUS is being very aggressive in rolling out updates constantly, and this phone just became available. This is the caveat to doing a review early on. It's that you never know what the end software is going to look like, but right now, they are delivering a slightly glitchy experience, but I think that will clear up. What else? The camera's good, but it's not amazing. Of course, if you go to a flagship device like the Galaxy S6 or the iPhone, you have a lot less noise, you have a lot less color bleeding, but those are 3 times the price. So you kind of get what you pay for in this aspect, and I do believe that the camera quality and the photo quality are much higher, a little bit higher, than what you're getting with a $200 device. So let's sum it up one more time. All-day battery life, decent camera, great display. They need to work on the UI integration a little bit, but I think that will clear up by the time it's shipping to the masses. The camera quality could be a little bit better. And, well, the speaker is just so-so. It's good enough to get notifications like that one, but I won't be listening to a lot of music or sharing too many videos with my friends on this device. So that's just been my review of the ASUS Zenfone 2. Please leave me a comment if you have any additional questions. I should be getting my hands on the 4GB version soon, so we will be able to do some performance comparisons if you were wondering what gains you get on the 2GB versus the 4. So I'm Nicole Scott from Mobile Geeks. If you're not subscribed to our channel, absolutely please do that so you do not miss out what the performance gains are going to be like.